Some young people are so fond of video games that they cannot control themselves. Every 3 minutes they sit gaming and ignore the negative consequences until they physically collapse. Gamers who are addicted to video games show symptoms that are very similar to those of alcohol addicts. The World Health Organization has officially recognized gaming disorder as a separate mental health condition. So, in today's video, I will discuss this subject. I will explain what game addiction is, how it affects a person, and how we can treat it. And finally, I will also give you some parenting tips to prevent the situation from being out of control. I'm a healthcare psychologist and therapist, and I make videos on psychology and mental health topics. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my content I publish every week. The video game industry continues to grow at a rapid rate. In 1999, the industry generated $7.4 billion in revenue compared to $131 billion in 2018. At the end of the 1990s, behavioral scientists began for the first time research into gaming addiction. At the time, there were relatively few addicted gamers. According to studies, it is now about 1 to 1.5% of the population. A review study of Asian young people reports that almost 15% of young people suffer from game addiction. Some Asian countries such as South Korea and Vietnam, where game addiction is now considered a serious social problem, are opting for a different approach. There, internet providers are obligated to take certain online games off the air during the night hours. That way, gamers are forced to take a break. According to the World Health Organization criteria, some is addicted to computer games if they no longer have control over how often, how intensively, and for how long they play. For such a person, gaming always takes priority over other interests and activities. An addict continues to play despite negative consequences regarding his life, social contacts, and school performance. The diagnostic criteria look like that of an addiction to alcohol and drugs. Like patients with other addictions, game addicts sometimes feel an irresistible craving for their drug, games. If something prevents them from gaming, they often show withdrawal symptoms, such as aggression, restlessness, or irritability. For some, even the thought of not being able to game leads to blind panic, including palpitation or elevated blood pressure. Brain research shows that a game addiction is not much different from an addiction to alcohol and drugs. There are changes in the reward center of the brain. While gaming, this centrum releases a substance called dopamine, which makes a person experience pleasure. At the same time, the production of dopamine decreases during other activities. As a result, the addict only enjoys gaming. There are several short and long-term negative effects of game addiction. In the short term, individuals may experience disruptions of their sleeping patterns, leading to fatigue, sleepiness, or insomnia. They may also have a disruption in their eating habits. They are eating unhealthy snacks or even skipping meals, which leads to poor nutrition. People may isolate themselves and miss out on social opportunities, which can potentially lead to a loss of friends and decreased social skills. They may also be at increased risk of seizures due to the flashing and fast-paced images included in video games. Long-term effects of video game addiction may impair a person's academic career or financial success. There are several emotional and physical warning signs of video game addiction that can be indicative of a problem. Physical symptoms include chronic tiredness, headaches, concentration problems, carpal tunnel syndrome, and lack of personal hygiene. Other known injuries can include tennis elbow or eye strain from repeatedly staring at a screen. Addicts may show psychosomatic symptoms. They may be obsessed with thoughts about playing and show signs of agitation when they are unable to play. Psychosocial problems, including aggression and hostility, have also been noted. People may be dishonest about the amount of time that they spend playing video games and isolate themselves to play for longer. There are known cases of gamers who have died of exhaustion, as it were from an overdose. Fortunately, that rarely happens. Gaming is an easy and pleasant way for children and young people to find distraction. This can be functional, but only for a short period of time. They forget about unpleasant situations and emotions, and they put aside activities they don't like. Whether it's conflicts with peers or with their parents, problems at school, or regarding their bodies. In the virtual world, all of that disappears into the background. Many parents don't know how to react when their child is gaming all day. In fact, they should set clear limits to their offspring's computer and smartphone use. Otherwise, a vicious cycle can arise in which an adolescent turns more away from real life. Such a situation becomes a concern when gaming becomes the main strategy for dealing with problems. In that case, the children and young people do not learn how to deal with negative emotions, worry, and boredom in other ways. For example, through other activities that they enjoy or through conversations with friends and family. Experience shows that life phases with little structure are very risky. For example, unemployment or student life. There are students who hardly attend lectures and who spend their lives almost entirely behind the computer. Lack of structure is one of the conditions that favor the development of gaming addiction. Furthermore, game addicts often display a high degree of impulsivity and poor self-control. The same goes for people with ADHD. In general, they run an increased risk of developing addictions and therefore also gaming addiction. For many, computer addiction is accompanied by other psychological problems, such as anxiety disorders, depression, or personality disorders. We do not yet know exactly how the interaction between these disorders works. Perhaps depression or social phobia does not arise until someone has a gaming addiction. The reverse is also possible. Someone can use gaming to defend themselves against their gloom, fears, and low self-esteem. This only makes the problems worse. There are still too few long-term studies to say anything with certainty. Based on available research results, it appears that cognitive behavioral therapy works best. The primary goal of therapy is that the person regains control of his life. While most addicts don't want to quit completely at first, they usually strive for complete abstinence. They still want to play occasionally for fun, but experience shows that this is often difficult and even impossible. A relapse is a part of addiction. This is no different with game addiction than with alcohol and drug addiction. Game addicts may have it even harder, as computers and the internet are essential parts of our modern life. To prevent a relapse, it's therefore important that a person becomes aware of risky situations and tries to avoid them as much as possible. The therapist works with the patient to develop strategies to achieve that goal. Today, there are computer programs that help to keep computer use in check. It is possible to set the time and duration of internet use, gaming, or a particular website use. It is also possible to adjust this software to the severity of addiction. Group therapies are also common. During the sessions, the patient learns to talk about their problem and discovers they are not the only one dealing with it. In addition, they learn strategies to get back to normal life and to keep their addiction under control. If a person has another mental illness, for example depression, or is unable to get their life back on track, he needs to be admitted. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell before you go, but also give this video a thumbs up. I'd like to hear from you more in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.